If there is one thing that is never in short supply with the Democratic Party, it's arrogance and rep. Adam Schiff, DCA, the starting quarterback for the Donald Trump impeachment game, is full of it. As chair of the House Intelligence Committee, Schiff decided to set up the big top to this circus that's engulfed the Hill by holding secret impeachment hearings. There were scores of witnesses who testified behind closed doors, and he released selective transcripts that only bolstered the Democratic cause for impeachment. And when the House vote made the inquiry official and this whole thing came out of the basement, the reasons to impeach collapsed. Much like the Russian collusion myth, once the public saw the evidence, they balked. It's just too evident that the Democrats have been planning this for years. They cannot hide their hatred. Meanwhile, in normal America, economic opportunities have been growing, paychecks have been getting bigger, and things are overall just not apocalyptic. Impeachment is not popular in the swing states, and this whole fiasco has only increased President Trump's approval ratings and pushed these key states further out of reach for Democrats. Yet, while conservative media has torched Schiff, his minions, and this whole charade, the Intercept's Glenn Greenwald and Michael Tracy, formerly of the Young Turks, have also ripped the liberal media for their peddling of Russian collusion hysteria. They were skeptical of this myth from the get-go. They're appalled at how the Trump dossier, which was proven to be totally false, was weaponized to secure spy warrants on Trump officials based on fairy tale evidence. If you want to know why some people fear a large federal government, this is why. Like most arrogant government workers, they'll never admit when they're wrong. If you're the chair of the House Intel Committee, you bet you're not apologizing. In a recent interview with Margaret Hooper on PBS Firing Line, Schiff pretty much said he doesn't feel bad that Carter Page, a former foreign policy advisor for the Trump campaign who was targeted by the FBI, had his life destroyed. Schiff had written a memo pretty much absolving the FBI of any wrongdoing, adding that FISA process was not abused. Yeah, the Department of Justice's Inspector General report by Michael Horowitz trashed all of Schiff's points in his fake memo, rebutting his colleague Rep. Devin Nunes, RCA, who was chair of the House Intelligence Committee before Democrats retook the House in 2018, via Fox News, at Rep. Adam Schiff is unsympathetic to Carter Page, telling at Firing Line show that Page denied things that we knew were true. In testimony, admitted to being an advisor to the Kremlin. In an interview clip released on Friday, Firing Line host Margaret Hoover read quotes from Page about how the Russia probe had such a negative impact, including how the FBI spying into his life ruined his good name, and that he will never completely have his name restored. Do you have any sympathy for Carter Page? Hoover asked. I have to say, you know, Carter Page came before our committee and for hours of his testimony, denied things that we knew were true, later had to admit them during his testimony, Schiff responded. It's hard to be sympathetic to someone who isn't honest with you when he comes and testifies under oath. It's also hard to be sympathetic when you have someone who has admitted to being an advisor to the Kremlin. Page worked with the CIA, something that was omitted in the FISA process when securing the spy warrant against him. Greenwald said this response was sociopathic. If you don't feel sympathy for someone who was wrongly smeared for years as being a traitor, and who was spied on by his own government due to FBI lying. In other words, Adam Schiff, if you don't feel sympathy for someone who was wrongly smeared for years as being a traitor, and who was spied on by his own government due to FBI lying. In other words, Adam Schiff. https://t.co/hgorobfate. Glenn Greenwald at G. Greenwald. December 22, 2019. Tracy mocked Schiff for speaking about the KGB in the present tense. And people wonder why the Trump-Kremlin collusion myth was never taken seriously. I mean, besides the fact that there is zero evidence proving such a tall tale, Adam Schiff, the guy the country was supposed to rely on to conduct impartial impeachment proceedings, is talking about the KGB in the present tense. https://t.co/5grelgwiftor, Michael. Tracy, at M. Tracy, December 23, 2019 page is somewhat lucky in the sense that he had a vehicle to push back and allies that we're willing to challenge this absurd theory about him being a foreign agent in a Russian collusion scheme. At the same time, Schiff's remarks should also serve as a reminder to Republicans. This is war. Democrats are willing to destroy innocent lives in order to remove Trump. Not saying we should do the same, but our defense should be just as brutal, methodical, and devastating as what Democrats have doled out for the past 3 years. It is a take-no-prisoners election cycle. We have to get mean. Never apologize. That's an action reserved for honorable people, respectable people. We're fighting the slime of the earth. The most abhorrent subhuman creatures in politics. And every single one of them has Democrat next to their name. Don't trust them. Don't be friends with them. Let them wallow in their own filth, that appalling aura of self-righteousness that buoys their confidence that they'll beat Trump in 2020. And when Trump is re-elected, enjoy the meltdown, again. It's going to get nasty. Schiff's actions are a reminder of that. Act accordingly. Let's block ads. Why?